Hello everyone, my name is Sophie and welcome back to another video. I feel like it's become a little bit of a tradition at this point, sitting down with you guys between Thanksgiving and Christmas and talking about the newest Alex Esther release. She's ventured out at this point, publishing books that are not coming out at the end of the year, but you can always trust Alex Esther to publish a Lightlark book at the end of the year. And that's why we're here today. Lightlark took the world by storm a few years ago. I don't remember, like 3 years ago? Should have looked it up maybe. I took it upon myself to become the Lightlark girl that reviews her books. And one time I asked, what book do you connect with me? Like when you think of my channel, what book do you think of? And everyone said Lightlark. Don't say that. Alex Esther loves enemies to lovers, and I feel like maybe that's like what we have going on. Like we're not there yet, but like we're still enemies? But maybe something can bloom. Before we go further, I want to give a quick shout out to today's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare has creative classes taught by amazing world-class creatives like professional illustrators, renowned graphic designers, and successful entrepreneurs. The platform is designed to help you build creativity into your life by learning directly from real, super talented, and successful creatives. Something that's very important to me is to keep my content entertaining for you guys and to optimize it continuously. And a big part of that is storytelling. That's why I took Robin Walden's class called Turn Big Ideas into Unique Content, Tools for Creative Writing and Research. He's a YouTuber himself that does video essays, and so I felt like the class was very authentic. He talks about how to find your own system to articulate your ideas better and then connect all of them together. What I appreciated about the class also was that he was very concise in what he was talking about. It's just about 30 minutes. So instead of laying in my bed and doom scrolling all evening, I was like, I'm gonna sit down and I'm gonna take this class and it's gonna be useful to me. And I felt much better after it than arguably spending my whole time on my phone, right? Just put it away, take a little class. It's perfect. I truly think that there's something on Skillshare for everybody, which is why I'm so happy to tell you guys that the first 500 people who click the link in my description or scan the QR code on screen receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Plus, remember, it's December. Christmas is right around the corner. You can give a Skillshare membership to friends or family. Get started today, clicking the link or scanning the QR code. Thank you again to Skillshare. Love you so much. Let's get on with it. So now we're here after she went from it being a duology to surprise, it's a trilogy, to surprise, it's a quadruplet or whatever. And everyone is wondering, is this the last Lightlark book? No. You know, I feel like that lady from the TikTok where she's like, that's me 10 hours after my shift. That's how I feel when I finished this book. I was like, another one? I was thinking of having it be a reveal at the end, but I just have to get it out now. Like, yes, this is not the last book. She hasn't officially said anything about it. We'll talk about it though. She went from saying, oh, it was supposed to be a duology, I got a third book through to the publisher, and then when the third book came out, in case you don't remember, she was like, well, surprise, yeah, it's a cliffhanger because I'm publishing 2 more books. But when she said that, she told everyone, well, yeah, it's gonna be 2 more books, but it's one like more full-length novel and 1 novella. I also read the novella. I know everything. She never said that there was going to be 2 more full-length books. And so far, again, she hasn't said anything. She hasn't posted it anywhere. Arguably, it's Thursday today and the book came out on Tuesday. I didn't sleep. I did, actually. It's not that hard to read. If I can give her one thing, it's the fact that they are very easy reads, her books. Like, there are no thoughts being thunk when you're reading them. You can honestly read them in one sitting and be done with it. And that's what I did. So thank you, Alex, for that. Enemies to lovers. Remember, I of course have reviews for all of the books and I will link them down below if you want to watch them. But if you don't want to watch them, we can talk about what has happened. So as I mentioned, she has not said anything about this being not the last book yet. The only thing that I found on her Instagram story is this. This is like in backwards in the camera. I can't read what it says. What does it fucking say? What if I told you there are more surprises coming very soon, question mark, this week, exclamation mark. Oh, the only thing I'm looking at in this photo is her poorly taken off eyeliner, girl. You gotta take your makeup off. It's bad for your skin. I also once did a video on Alex Esther, so I'll link all of that down below, including the reviews that I've done for this series. But of course, I'm going to give you a little bit of a summary before we get into this book, because not that you need it, but So I remember. Of course, everything I say is my opinion. Nothing is fact. I don't actually have anything against Alex. It's just for shits and giggles. Like, I'm just playing it up, of course. I just want to make that clear because people take it very seriously. I do think her books are bad, but that's why I'm making it like hour length, multiple hour content at this point about them. Talking about it. Wish nothing but the best for Alex, and I hope that her writing gets better soon. I do, because it hasn't changed the last 3 years. Why am I still reading these books, even if I don't like them? It's fun to hate read. You should try it sometime. So, Lightlark, it was the first book, the sensation. I think most people read that book, maybe even the second book, and then they stopped. Understandably so. How does she always pitch Lightlark? Like, it's a... 6 rulers come together to break deadly curses every 500 years, and it's being made into a movie by the producer of Twilight. She always mentioned that at the end. First book, Isla, the main character, meets Grimm, the shadow daddy, and Oro, who is the boring blonde one. As a reminder, Isla is the ruler of Wildling, and then Grimm is the ruler of Nightshade, and Oro is the ruler of Lightlark, the island, the entire island for some reason. I still don't know why that, whatever. But also the ruler of Sunling, and then they have to break the curses. She ends up breaking the curses in the first book. She has a crush on both of them, but at the end of the book, she ends up being together with Oro. She chooses Oro. Second book is called Nightbane. The curses are broken, but there are more threats that I don't remember. I honestly don't remember like the plot of the books, especially not the one before this one. I had to look it up completely because I forgot. She is with Oro, but she realizes that she has a past with Grimm. He erased her memories, and she is slowly gaining them back throughout the second book while she is still with Oro, and she cries herself to sleep every night, and at the end of the book, something happens that makes her go with Grimm. I don't remember what that was. Alex Esther is still trying to sell that Oro is a possibility, by the way. She was promoting this book, the newest one, Crown Tide, I didn't even say the name, doesn't matter. That she was going to choose one of them. She does end up choosing one of them. You can take a big fat guess. I won't spoil it, but I think everybody knows what she chooses. So now she's trying to tell us in the third book that Isla is still in love with Oro, which I never understood why she liked him to begin with. But she's living with Grimm and kind of re-falling in love with him. So we have 3 books so far where they're falling in love with one another. Because in the first book, she falls in love with both of them, right? Second book, her memories come back. So it's the story of them originally falling in love. The third book is then her living with Grimm and kind of forgiving him for erasing her memories and trying to figure that out, and then actually falling in love with him again in the present. So they're falling in love the entire time, again and again. And this fourth book, you will be happy to know that they're falling in love again, but for a different reason entirely. That is kind of like the second book, but I also forgot what happened at the end of the third book, because the fourth one, this one, if this is confusing to you, imagine how it is to me. Picks off right at the end of the third book. There's no time skip or anything. So what happened during the third book is the most relevant right now, right? Of course, they are continuously being attacked by otherworldly monsters, and it turns out that the founders of Lightlark are still alive. The Nightshade founder and the Wildling founder, but they're both evil, of course. The Wildling founder is called Lark, and she can raise the dead. And her flair, which is her special ability, is that she can not die. She can't die. She can not die. So that's, of course, pretty hard on them because they don't know what to do. She keeps raising the dead and having undead people fight against them in the third book, and they don't really know what to do. And they are thinking that they need to destroy her and Cronin, which I will be referring to him as Voldemort, and I will explain further later, who's the Nightshade founder, who's evil and looks just like Grimm. They want to destroy them because they are attacking Lightlark, the entire world of Lightlark. They don't really, I don't know if the world is called Lightlark, because it gets really confusing. They start talking about universes, galaxies, worlds, kind of like a multiverse of madness. I never watched that. I don't know why I just said that. I imagine that is what that movie is like. I was honestly just vibing by the end of the book because I didn't really know what was going on anymore concretely. I just kind of knew what was going on. I remember thinking that the third book was very useless, and so is this book. All in all, this series would have been enough as a trilogy. She really keeps dragging it on with paragraphs and paragraphs of the men being like, she is my universe, she's my galaxy, she is infinite, we are infinite. The amount of times the word infinite fell. Anyway, that's not where we're at right now. So in the third book, Isla decides, since Lark can't be killed, but she keeps fighting against them, that she will just take her to a different realm, which is called Skyshade, which is where they originate from. Because she thinks in her head, if I take her there, I will be able to kill her. I don't really know how that connects, but anyway, it doesn't really matter, right? She thinks that she can kill her if she takes her to Skyshade. So Isla is plotting this throughout the third book without telling her boyfriends, her two boyfriends. She finds the portal to Skyshade on her own and yeets Lightlark through it and goes with her, and she ends up in the other world called Skyshade, and that is how the third book ends. And I think they also fight. So the premise for this book, Crown Tide, is that they are separated in different realms, in different galaxies, and they don't know how to get to Isla because they don't know how to open the portal, because they don't know how she did it because she didn't tell them. Of course, it's still perpetuated that she is in love with both of them, which how much I believe that, I'm not sure. As of right now, again, it's Thursday today and the book came out 2 days ago. It has 500 ratings. Sorry. With a 3.9 average rating. So is that good or not? I don't really care. It's so curious to me if that is the right expression. Like, I wish I knew the behind the scenes of what is going on with this series and who keeps allowing her to publish more in it, and if it's truly making these numbers, that this effort that the publisher is putting into it, also marketing wise, is worth it. She's always at events with like huge cutouts. They're doing elaborate collector's editions and everything, and it makes me wonder, like, is there really such a huge fan base? Am I completely off the grid that I don't know about it? Because I feel like nobody gives a fuck, and a lot of people, even people who like the series, when they found out that there was going to be more of it, they were like, why? Like, just wrap it up at this point. Of course, the novella, I also reviewed that. It was just Grimm and Oro's perspective of the past books. It does get referenced quite a lot in this book, but then the events that are referenced that were explained in the novella get explained again in this book. So it's not necessary to read it at all. Didn't add anything to the story. Also interesting to me is that we get entire scenes that would have been very, very interesting in the novella to happen, because they also happened in the past. And again, the novellas were just Grimm and Oro's perspective from the past books, but she actively chose against including them in the novella, adding anything new to the story in the novella, and instead did it in the full-length book, which then again makes me wonder, did we need the novella at all? No, I think in my opinion it was a cash grab, like this entire series is. God, I'm cooking. I think with this book I was once again impressed on how bad the writing is. It's very simplistic. There are words that are mentioned countless times. Wife, for example, or husband. Stop. Because of course she's married to Grimm, if you forgot. Twice. And the word infinite, because their love is infinite, is also mentioned countless times. I'm not going to look it up right now because I have the notes open, sorry. But just believe me, I would say like 50 times in the book, and the book is like 400 something pages. Perfect length for a book. But please stop. Don't do more. She's gonna do more. You're gonna see me again same time next year. The way she structures her sentences, also, I have some examples for this. I don't know if that is because English is my I'm German. I have to get it out. How far are we into the video? I haven't said it yet. So maybe my impression of this is different than if a native speaker was reading this, but sometimes she structures her sentences in a way where I'm like, you can do it like that. Obviously it's like grammatically correct, but it doesn't flow. Like, it doesn't make sense for her to do it that way. And it would take me out of the story even more than the entire story already did. Yeah. Isla is in Skyshade with Lark, her ancestor. She is there to kill Lark and Voldemort, who are both evil and want to destroy Lightlark. Remember, there's a prophecy that says Isla has to kill one of her boyfriends in order for the realm to keep existing. The issue is that her life is bound to Grimm because she died at one point, and Grimm then like shared his soul with her, kind of like a Horcrux. Oh my god, another fuck J.K. Rowling. But there are a lot of things that reminded me of Harry Potter in this, right? Never read Harry Potter. I'm referring to movies that I watched 10 years ago. So I hope I'm correct. He kind of made Isla into a Horcrux. They're now sharing one soul. So if Isla dies, Grimm dies. If Grimm dies, Isla dies. And the prophecy says, of course she has to kill one of them for the realm to keep existing. And how is it even a question then who she's going to kill? Do you really think Alex Assa has the guts to kill 2 of her main characters and let Oro live on? If she does it in the next book, inshallah it's the last one. If she does it, then I'm gonna be an Alex Assa fan. Like, if she commits to killing Isla and Grimm, I don't think she's gonna do that, but we will see. You know, never say never, I guess. So they have to watch that she doesn't die, because then Grimm will die and that would be bad, I guess. So let's get into the book now, right? You know where we are. We're in Skyshade and we are in Lightlark at the same time. Oro and Grimm are working together to figure out how to open a portal to get Isla back. Isla is in Skyshade with Lark. It takes up exactly 50% of the book before one of her boyfriends makes it to Skyshade to help her. And that's when the big plot twist of this book happens. At exactly 50%. I feel like she's done this before, where I was like, exactly 50%. You don't have to do that, exactly 50%. You don't have to do that. But she did that anyway. Okay. Grimm fell to his knees at Walmart. That's kind of like what I imagined a sentence ago, but he just fell to his knees. And Oro staggered back with the force of the blow. One he would have dodged easily under different circumstances. Of course he would have. If all his energy hadn't left him in the wake of this crushing grief, and he hadn't already been injured. Keep telling yourself that. It felt like a weird sentence to do 1% into the book. Grimm attacks Oro. They kind of fight it out. They don't kiss, as I had hoped. There were chances for them to. Like, the opportunity was there. They didn't. They're not into that gay shit. But just so you know, Oro could have dodged the blow that Grimm gave him. Like, he is as strong. I swear he's as strong as Grimm. I swear he's on the same level as Grimm. Like, he could have done it. He was just really sad. Nobody gives a fuck about Oro. Arguably, Oro is the better of the two of them. He has done nothing wrong. He's always been nice to Isla, and Grimm is a little bit of a beanie, but he has blonde hair, and Grimm has black hair. So I think we know who the choice is gonna be. For the first 50% of the book, we get both Grimm and Oro's perspective. Almost equally, I would say, but I never really knew whose perspective I was in when I stopped reading, because they read the same, and also it's third person, so it was just like, it just read the same. I don't know who I am right now. And they are just kind of presenting their argument to the reader as to why they should be with Isla, why they love her more. And it truly got to a point where I just kept skimming it, because it was just paragraph upon paragraph of I love her so much. I love her more than him. I love her the mostest in the world. She is my universe. As I mentioned earlier, they keep saying that. It kind of made me cringe. I have to be honest. I just read another book that also, with its elements, was really similar to this. I'm gonna spoil right now, you get the review next week. Brimstone, the second Quicksilver book. Oh, boy do I have a lot to say about that. Where they would just keep going on how much they love each other. It's like, at some point I get it. Like, you have more pressing issues than the love that you feel for your significant other right now. Like the end of the world, for example. Can we get on with business? She doesn't even have to be mine. She might never be mine, but the mere fact that she lives proves perfection exists. It proves this world has wonders in it yet. I only know that this is Oro's perspective because she says she might never be mine. No, she won't. She chooses Grimm. Oh my god, I had to say it. She was a breath of spring in the middle of winter. She was a guiding star in his dark sky, the axis on which his world turned. I thought it said rotated, but it turns. Y'all, I mean, okay. This is all, by the way, still 1% in the book. Next page, also still 1% in. I will rip down the constellations themselves to see you again. Like, I love a boy. I love a boy. I love men. Take it back. I love where they love each other a lot, and if you told me once or twice, I would say, oh, that's cute, but you repeatedly saying it 1% in, it's just like, at some point you need to shut the fuck up and like get a fucking grip. We have this conflict of Grimm wanting to sacrifice everyone in the world just so he can be with Isla, and Oro is like, well, I really want to be with her, but I don't want to kill everyone in the world. And so Oro has more of a moral compass and is probably going to sacrifice himself in order so that everyone can live, which in my opinion is like the greater love. Like, he loves her more than Grimm, is my opinion. Anyway, yeah, I said it. I said it. In the moment, Grimm was overtaken with regret. He should have done more to comfort her after she had accidentally killed everyone in that village. Maybe she wouldn't have left. You know what? Maybe you should have comforted her after she killed everyone in the village. That's a good idea. That's a good place to start. I think that revelation is coming arguably a bit late. I think that happened in the second book. Maybe in the third, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. He's like trying to rationalize that Oro is also like confessing to him that they almost, like him and Isla almost fucked at one point, I think in the third book? Doesn't matter, in one of the books. And then Grimm is like, yeah, no, it's fine, like it's my fault, like I did that, like I know I shouldn't have made her, like erased her memories, like I regret it so much. And then Isla also tells him like me and Oro almost fucked, and then he's like, yeah, I know, it's my fault, like I'm so stupid. Like I fucking hate Grimm. Can I say that? Fuck that man. Who wants to be with them? Ugh. You know, if I were with Grimm, he would be too much for me. He would be too much for me. He would need to calm down if he was in my presence. Grimm wouldn't sleep until he found her. So late that night, in the silence of the castle that was once full of her voice, he sat at the table and remembered the night he had decided to claim that gemstone. Are you being so for real right now? First of all, the gemstone is called Infinite. Just like their love, which is why that word falls double as much. It's a necklace that he gave her, I think in the first book, and when she tugs at it, he comes. And then he comes to her. I don't really remember the circumstances. I think it's like a sign of them being married, like they exchange necklaces when they get married in Nightshade. And the Infinite is an ancient artifact that amplifies your powers. And it's what Voldemort has been looking for a long time, because he wants to overtake every galaxy in the world for no apparent reason. But the stone, the Infinite, the gemstone, kept rejecting him because only someone with pure intentions and love can claim it. And obviously Voldemort doesn't have that. Alex Esther was like, you know, I wrote an entire novella. Like an entire novella about the perspective of Nightbane from, or whatever, from Grimm's point of view, and then Oro, Lightlark, like I wrote an entire novella. But this scene, this gemstone, like, I'm just gonna put that in the main book. Why? And I fucking hate this premise where it's like so spelled out. It's like, so late at night, he sat at the table and he remembered the night he decided to claim the gemstone. That's how he's sitting at the table. I'm at the table right now. Just like this introduction to the chapter is what I mean when I say her writing is ass. Like, just put it naturally into the fucking chapter of him reminiscing or talking to someone about it and being like, oh yeah, I remember when I kind it's the entire chapter. It's like an 8-minute long chapter of him claiming this fucking gemstone, climbing a mountain and talking about his trauma that I already know about because I read the novella. And then arguably maybe she wants to make it so that not everybody has to read the novella to know what's going on, but she references it anyway, the novella, the things that we learn in the novella, she references them in the main story. So she could have just done it with this gemstone. It felt like such a waste because this was like an original thing that the reader doesn't know about yet. I didn't know about the story until right now. Why didn't you put it in the novella? I knew everything that happened in the fucking novella. Bitch. I pointed out in the novella review that I felt like this thing up here looks like a thong. Everyone corrected me and said, no, it looks like a uterus. Sorry. Of course it looks like a uterus. I'm sorry. Have you ever thought about the fact that maybe a thong and a uterus aren't so different? I also wanted to look up if they are in the other books, but I was too lazy. Somebody do that. He thought of the way she had smelled in that field of Nightbane when he had gotten down on both knees to beg her to be with him forever. He proposed to her like Shane Dawson proposed to Riley, guys. And I referenced that so many times. It's so funny to me. Both knees, I would have said no. I would have said, get the fuck up, you're embarrassing me. Try to take your heart out of it, Oro. Isla Crown is now the most powerful person in our histories, possibly in the entire universe. Do we really want her back here? No. Oro has friends, luckily. So he has a little bit more, again, of a moral compass. Arguably, Grimm doesn't have anyone on his side. I feel like Ella is also at this point just so overpowered. She has the ability of all the rulers and all of the realms because if she figured out her flair is to absorb the power of the people she kills. So if she were to kill Lark, which is her plan, she would absorb her power and she wouldn't be able to die, because that is Lark's flair. So if she killed Lark, she would absorb that. However she's gonna do that, we'll see later. And so she's collecting all of these abilities like Infinity Stones, right? That's what they do in Marvel, right? I don't know anything about superheroes. There's a long story behind why I never saw Infinity War in theaters. It was because of a bitch in my class. If you're watching this right now, fuck you. The word ancestor also falls a lot, I have to say. We're 7% in and nothing has happened yet. So what I also think is that, and I don't know what I have said before about Alex Esther's writing, because I just, once I talk about a book, I kind of forget what I said. Like, I'm over it. She only writes main clauses, right? So she writes, they both fell face first into the ash. Isla's mouth was filled with it. Her chin was being dragged. Can we not make this sound a little bit more eloquent? perhaps? If you're wondering what she's doing, she's in Skillshare with Lark, but they get picked up by scavengers, and this entire world is just ash. Like, there's nothing in this world besides ash. It's like a desert made of ash. They get picked up by these scavengers, dragged through the desert somewhere, and so the first 10% is just her trying to break away from these scavengers and breaking out and getting caught again and breaking out again, and her mouth is full of sand and her chin is being dragged. So that is what she's doing. There's nothing happening for the first 10% in her POV. I think a better example is here with the main clauses. She set the dagger down and took this instead. She found a good... She took this instead? Her fingers searched until they finally locked around something smooth and solid. Cronan's sword. She set the dagger down and took this instead? Which is already like, took this instead? She found the godbone tucked against the well-worn wood. The Orb of Storms was next. Her armor was all that remained. Am I 5 and do I not know how to read? That's how I feel when I read her books. Still, even after all she had done, after she had left him for Grimm at the end of the war, after she had remained there afterward, he still loved her. She means Oro. She could feel the faint string of that love now. Grimm's too! Grimm's too! At least we forget that they're in a love triangle. Like, she can feel all of their love. The thing is, for these first 10%, while she's being dragged behind the cart by these scavengers in the desert, when we are in Oro's or Grimm's POV, they are just talking about how much they love her. They need to get her back. They may be like having a fist fight. Isla doesn't think of them until like 10% in. That she's like, oh yeah, like I love them. I love them so much. She doesn't even think of them. If you're wondering what the meaning of the title of the book is, it's Crown Tide. Crown Tide is the name of the war that they're in or going to be in. Are they officially in it now? I think the next book they're going to be in it. At the end of the book they figure out that Crown Tide maybe isn't a war like a thing, but instead a person that can change the fate, that can change the tide. They keep talking about prophecies in those books and possibilities, and it gets really convoluted in my opinion, where you don't really know what is right and what is wrong and like where we are right now, what the current prophecy is. All of the characters get to see like possibilities on how the world could turn out and how this war could turn out, and so I don't really know what the answer to that question is at this point. I don't know how the war is gonna turn out. I hope good, of course. I hope everybody dies. Grimm and Oro visit Horus, which is one of the founders, one of the founding fathers from back in the day, who was the Sunling founder. I don't know if he's really there or if it's just the appearance of him, because they try to make clear that he's dead, but then he's there, so I don't really know. And then he disappears, so I don't know what's wrong with him. They visit him to figure out what they should do and how they can open a portal, and he gives them an artifact, because there's many artifacts in this book. The artifact is called Threads of Time, and they make it so you can see the past. When you unwind the thread, you can like go back. It's like the necklace from Harry Potter, which I don't know what the fuck the name of that is. Meanwhile, while this is happening, Lark and Isla are being captured by Cronan, the Voldemort. Lark used to be in love with him, but she doesn't really speak anymore, and all she does the entire book is smirk. Like when anybody smirks, it's her. Lark just smirked. This is a line that kept happening. I don't really know what that means. Well, I do know what that means, obviously, but it's just like, why isn't she doing anything else? Open your fucking mouth, bitch. Something else that Alex Esther does with her writing is she repeats words very close to one another, and I don't think that she's using this as a stylistic device to emphasize, but instead because she can't really write and doesn't know any synonyms. When they meet this king, he's bound by chains in an underwater prison, and I imagine he looks like Silas from League of Legends. I've been getting into League of Legends again, guys, because my exams are coming up, and so then I look for every distraction I can get, and I think that's a good distraction. No, he seemed perfectly at peace, as if he hadn't even noticed that he wasn't drowning anymore. 2 sentences later she goes, he observed that unlike the other prisoners, he was perfectly intact. 2 sentences later. First, he seemed perfectly at peace, and then he was perfectly intact. Why are you using perfectly twice in the span of 3 sentences? Are there no other words for perfect? I don't know any words. I will Google cinnamon to perfect. Cinnamon. Ugh, whatever. This king tells them, if that stone were ever wielded together with his sword and crown, he would have the power to rule everything. So Voldemort wants the stone that Isla is wearing, he already has a crown, and he wants his sword that Isla coincidentally also has with her. It's perfect. She brought everything to him. Basically, she fucked everything up. Laura and Grimm keep fighting. If you're wondering what they're doing, they keep occasionally just beating each other up. Again, they tumble at one point, and I thought they're gonna kiss. They didn't. So that was really disappointing. Isla then severs the bond that she has to both Grimm and Oro, because that she rationalizes that this way Cronan won't be able to find them. that doesn't work out. Grimm turned around, having seen enough of the sunling lately to last a lifetime. The chill of the incoming storm seeped into his bones. Was this place similar to where Isla was? She got cold easily. He frowned. Was she cold now? And it gets better. The fact that he didn't know was almost worse than the fact that he couldn't help. Shut the fuck up. This is a grown-ass woman. Was she cold? The fuck? When Isla gets captured by Voldemort, she gets tortured daily, where he is like infiltrating her mind with his shadows and trying to figure out what she knows, how to portal back into her world or whatever. He wants to destroy her mind and then shape her into a weapon because he realizes she's really powerful, so he can take over more galaxies. For some reason, he wants to take over all the galaxies. Arguably, I like a villain that's like evil for the sake of being evil, but with him, he just felt very comically evil. Like, why do you want to take over everything? Did what happened in your past that made you like this? Doesn't matter. He wants to kill everybody. After 5 centuries, ... he was seeing his big brother again. For a moment, the centuries fell away. Why are we using centuries back to back? Say years. It just doesn't feel like she intentionally did that to emphasize it. She just did that because she didn't know any other words. To me, it feels like that. When she sees Voldemort for the first time, she goes, Grimm was beautiful like a god, and so was his ancestor. Beautiful like a god? What are the gods that you believe in? What is the belief system in this world? That feels a little bit blasphemous also. She gasped for breath. You mean air? Perhaps? Anyway, her severing the bonds didn't do anything. Voldemort ends up getting in her head and finding out about her 2 boyfriends, and so he's like, haha, I know your weakness now, bitch. And that's it. That's all about that. Next. The word villain falls a lot too, to a point where every time it came up I rolled my eyes. Similar with infinite, similar with wife, husband. Nexus is also a word that's mentioned a lot, which is the curse or whatever the fuck is on Oro, which makes him the king of Lightlark, and if he dies, Lightlark dies. That's called Nexus. I don't know if we knew that. They act like we knew that, but I forgot about it. Oro talks to the past king with the help of Grimm, and they figure out that they need to get all the side characters together to open the portal. That's going on with them. Meanwhile, Isla is finding new friends because for some reason a mythical portal appears, or not a portal, a pool, kind of like that mirror in Harry Potter where he looks into it and it's his parents, and then the original Dumbledore is like, don't look into it, you'll go mad. I don't remember what the fuck that mirror was called. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I'm referring to? This pool randomly appears, and it's unclear whether it's in her head or physical, to me at least. It's a silver pool with a silver-haired lady. We don't know who this lady is. I'm sure we'll find out. She keeps telling her, you need to be at peace with your past in order to see the possibilities of the future. I don't know. It's called the Pool of Possibilities. It's the last thing that Cronin Voldemort needs in order to open a portal. Again, I'm unsure about the logistics of all of this, but anyway, she keeps seeing this pool, she comes at peace with her past, and then she sees all the possibilities and finds out that, like, if she had just changed one minor thing, everything would have gone even more to shit. She's like, what would have happened if I hadn't killed that entire village that one time? Well, even more people would have died, so it's actually good that she killed an entire village. That kind of thing. Throughout the course of the story, everybody gets to look in the pool. Like, it's not really special. Grimlock gets to look in it. Oro gets to look into it. Everybody gets to look into it. It's not really important. I don't know. I just feel like I should tell you guys because it takes up a lot of this book. And I don't, again, understand the logistics of it because she is like looking into this pool in her mind while Cronin is in her mind attacking her, trying to extract information for whatever reason, for whatever he's looking for. But at the same time, she's like in this pool in her mind. It just happens all at the same time. Another cool feature that gets unlocked in this book, and I don't remember if this was in the first 3 books because am I supposed to remember everything? She can now converse with Oro and Grimm in her sleep, like in their dreams. This gets extended to even if they're not dreaming. If I read it correctly, I was really confused on this mechanic. If we knew about this mechanic before, if it was added, if there wasn't like an update or something, I don't know. She could do it with both of them. I think it's because she has a bond with them, because she loves them, both of them, and they love her. So that's how they're able to communicate, but she physically appears in front of them. And it's really funny because in Brimstone the same thing happens, and it's like, okay, so every fantasy book is the same, got it. She keeps appearing to them in their dreams. The first time it happens, she appears to Oro and like, he tries to comfort her and be like, no, you're good. She tells him, I'm the villain, Oro. I'm the reason so many people are dead. And then he's like, no, girl, love you. Like, you're the best. Like, you're my light, you're my winter spring. And then after that she visits Grimm in his dream. And this also, I think, maybe this is a lie, but in the beginning it only happens when we're in the boyfriend's perspectives, not in her. So we don't know how all of a sudden she's able to do this and why they're not able to do it back to her. Anyway, in Grimm's dream, they fuck. Fuck Oro. I have to do a little bit of intermission because I was just on her Instagram to see if she has anything new about Crown Tide out, like about the next book. And first of all, she hasn't really posted much about the fact that it's released, okay? There's like a little X course, okay? I'm gonna continue with the hot dream that she has with Grimm in a second. But I also just found out that there's the Astaverse. Can I join? Well, I could join. I'm not going to. The first tier is free, and you have a chance to get a Starsight arc and 50 pages on January 1st, and you get a weekly newsletter, and then the VIP club is $8 a month, which that's like €6. I have no idea. And it says you have the chance to get a Starsight arc and 100 pages on January 1st. You also unlock exclusive monthly Lightlark mini novella. Exclusive monthly Lightlark mini novella. I want that. I want that. Members only weekly edition of Aster Mail. Monthly printable coloring book pages. I hope they're not AI. You know. Exclusive phone wallpapers. Early access to limited monthly merch drops, 10% off all merch. I'm still hung up on the exclusive monthly Lightlark mini novella. Is that like 50 pages? What else is there to say? And for how long is she gonna do that? Until the next book comes out and it's done? I'm sure we're gonna see her on Good Morning America again. She always does that. She loves Good Morning America. I wish I could see how many people have joined that. So, back to the book. Of course, after Oro gets cucked, maybe he is a cuck, you know, it's, you know, no shade. She meets with Grimm in his dream and they do it. And it says he wanted her more flushed. He wanted her completely satisfied. That's very noble of him. Something we know is how the curses were spun, right? The curses from the first book, I don't know how they're still relevant. They've been broken for a while now, but they keep talking about it. And it was the fiancée of Oro's brother Egan. Her name is Aurora, and Egan had an affair with her best friend Violet, and then when Aurora found out, she killed everybody. She had to kill everybody. We have known about this for a long time, if I might say so myself. It gets re-mentioned in the novella. It gets mentioned in every book, arguably, we know this. I love when we get this little paragraph. Aurora had been in love with King Egan. Once she realized he loved her best friend instead, she spun the curses, killing thousands in the process. She plunged the world into 500 years of misery. You don't say. Giving this recap in the 4th book of your series that is based on these fucking curses is insane to me. Do you think I don't know? That's like the fundamentals of the story. And this is not the only time that the curses are re-explained. She does it on another occasion, which is even more insane to me. But you have to explain it twice. Anywho, we're now 50% in. We finally reached the 50% mark. If you're wondering what has happened until this 50%, nothing. Nothing has happened so far. She visits Oro in a dream again and tells him, I've changed my mind, because before that she told him, don't come looking for me. That's what he wants. He wants to destroy everything. Now she meets Oro again and tells him, I changed my mind. You can come. If you're nice, if you behave, but only one of you, because I want one person to stay back in case he attacks or something to defend everyone in the realm, and one person to come aid me. It's, of course, very ominous who she's gonna choose anyway. She goes, but I'm ready to choose once and for all, and I think this is also what Alex Esther has been referencing when she's been saying she's gonna make her decision. What is that? Cronin roared at his knights, who had started spilling into the room. The castle shook. The sky split. Isla could feel him, cleaving through the world like a blade, racing to her in a great burst of energy. Blood spilling from the corner of her mouth, Isla smiled and said, That's my husband. Nobody moved. Grimm is of course the chosen one. She chooses Grimm. He comes to her safety. Again, he comes and then he comes to her safety. As we all know, he has been jorking it. As revealed in the novella, he has been gooning. To everyone's dismay, at the 50% mark, the big plot twist happens, which is, and bear with me when I say this, Grimm loses his memories of Isla. I'm not kidding. The big plot twist is that they have to fall in love again. As if we haven't done that like 3 times already. At this point, okay. This is like the most boring, worst plot twist I've ever read in my life. Sorry. So we're doing it a 4th time over. of them falling in love with one another. But now it's not Isla who doesn't remember, it's Grimm who doesn't remember. As soon as Grimm arrives, Voldemort immediately goes into his mind and erases the memories. How this is possible is also a mystery to me. I thought he was strong, I thought he had like mind abilities himself. Doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. He forgets everything he knows about Isla. He immediately becomes a bitch about everything. He hates everything. He doesn't give a fuck about anything. His character is so boring because he doesn't have any friends. He doesn't have any hobbies. His only hobby is Isla, and now that's gone. So what's there to do? Nothing. We get his perspective. He looks at Isla's aura and he goes, "It was red, like roses and hearts and blood." Are you 5? Yes, those things are red. Why do you always compare everything to objects? I know what red looks like. Isla flees because Voldemort tells Grimm, "Listen to me, she wants to destroy your world, she loves Oro." Makes no sense to me. If she loves the King of Lightlark, why would she want to destroy the world? Doesn't really matter. I think that Grimm believes that she tricked Oro into loving her, and he can sense that she has all of these abilities, so he believes Voldemort and now rushes after her to kill her. And that is the objective for the next 50%. He wants to kill her, but she has huge boobies, and so it's kind of, you know, a conflict within him. And we all know the struggle. He's also curious why he can't remember anything, or why the memories were taken from him. She keeps telling him, "No, we're actually boyfriend girlfriend. You love me." He says, "I don't remember. I would never love anyone, especially not a woman." It's interesting, you know? Maybe now he has a chance of Oro. He also doesn't really question it until like 20% later why his memories were taken away. He just kind of goes with it. Voldemort tells him, "It was a gift that I took them from you." And he was like, "Okay." And then 20% later he's like, "Why did he do that?" Enough. She knew her husband could be a bastard, but he was really making it hard to love him. Keeps insulting her, being like, "I would never love you. You're nothing to me. You're worthless. You're just a person. I don't know who you are. Like, I could have never loved you. You're lying to me. You're deceiving me." And she's like, "No, look at me. This isn't you." Takes a bite. "This isn't you. Look at me." We have, of course, an iconic scene that I'm sure she has seen in many TV/media or whatever. Of course, Isla tries to seduce him the entire time. He is enthused because she's hot. That's all it takes. Without a word, he strode off down the hall. She remained where she was, pressed against the wall, heart racing. She had just dropped her gaze to the floor in disappointment when she heard his steps slow. He turned. "Fuck it," he said, and then his mouth was on hers. And then like music starts playing. She saw this in her head and I know what she envisioned. Like, we're connected like that. Of course, very original of her to do that. They just make out very hotly. Actually, no, they do dry hump actually. And he comes in his pants. He followed every order, every command, hanging on her every word, because now they're actually doing it, until her body went taut, then loose around him. And this made me pause. I'm imagining she means taunt. The word taunt. T-A-U-N-T. But I'm just a little German girl. What do I know? But it reads T-A-U-G-H-T, like teach. So I was confused, so I googled it, and yes, this is wrong. Sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I just don't know. Maybe I remember incorrectly, but no. Her body went taut. That is wrong, Alex. That's not what her body, I don't know how her body would do that. Grimm ends up finding her wherever she's hiding. He takes her back to Voldemort, and now Voldemort is like, "Oh, you can manipulate her to be on our side because she trusts you." And he's like, "Yeah, okay, whatever. I don't have anything else to do anyway." She spends her time in a cell, locked away with Lark, who isn't doing anything. I don't really know why she's there. She really isn't doing anything. She's just locked up the entire time. Isla gets to come out and dine with them, and like, Cronin is displaying his cruelty and like, "Look how many galaxies I own," and they're all stored in his crown that he's wearing. And Isla at this point knows she needs to destroy the crown in order to kill him. We don't get to that part in this book, you know. Could be patient another year. She ends up convincing Grimm to do something to betray Cronin, but Cronin overhears, and then he's like, "Oh, well, that's too damn bad. Because he gave her like a 3-week limit of deciding whether she wants her world to die or if she's gonna join them. I don't really know. She of course doesn't want to join him, so then he's like, "Okay, time is up, bitch. You're gonna fight your husband tomorrow night, and you're gonna have a duel, and then one of you lives," which doesn't work like that, because when one dies, the other dies. It doesn't really make any sense. She's like, "I'm not gonna duel you if I don't get that D one more time," so they do it all night, and then she escapes, and then they chase her down, and then everything is just a blur. I don't really remember how the book ended. Then she unleashed a beam of silver energy from her forehead that sliced through all his shadows. Yeah, she all of a sudden is like, has like a thing on her forehead where she can use it. I don't really know, it's really whack to me. It's like the dude from Avatar, the Boom Boom Man or whatever the fuck his name was. The reason Grimm doesn't really trust her, even though they do it all night, is because he sees a vision, or is shown a vision by Cronan, where Isla ends up putting a plate through his heart. A blade. I don't know why it's just a plate. Not a plate, a blade. And so he says, no, this is how our story is going to end. I can't really trust you because you're going to kill me. You're going to end up killing me. Then at the end, Isla leads them to the pool of possibilities, the silver pool with the mysterious lady. Cronan ends up going in there and is like, I know what to do now. I don't really know what happens. I don't really know what everything can do. I'm going to be honest. It's so convoluted. There's so many artifacts. I don't know what's going on. Isla is like, help me kill Cronan, because she gets him down, right? He's killable. And she says, I need this dagger that is the only artifact, another artifact, that can kill everything in existence, no matter how powerful. So that is the only thing that can kill Cronan. And when and then Grimm looks into the pool of possibilities, and he sees that, I don't know where he sees the dagger. I don't know what all of this, how it's connected. He sees the dagger and he recognizes it from the vision that he had where Isla kills him. Like, that is the blade that Isla is going to kill him with. And so he's like, nah. Sorry. Nah. He takes Cronan and he disappears. But Isla is then portaled back onto Lightlark. So Grimm betrays her by saving Cronan, but it's kind of indicated that he recognizes now, like, that he's getting his memories back, because throughout this entire thing, Isla was also trying to send him memories and like show him that they are actually have a history, because he didn't believe her, whatever. And so it seems like he does believe her, or his memories are coming back, but he still ends up saving Cronan, portaling him away. Isla is portaled back onto Lightlark to Oro, whose perspective is completely left out of the last half of the book, I'm gonna be honest. In the beginning, we had Grimm and Oro like pretty equally when Isla was gone. As soon as Grimm comes to Isla, fuck Oro. He gets like 3 more chapters and it's just him sulking and being like, oh, she didn't choose me. It's too damn bad. So I don't exactly remember how everyone gets everywhere, but it doesn't matter, does it? She gets back to Lightlark, to Oro, and they start getting attacked by Cronan at this point, because now he has all of the artifacts except the stone, maybe? Because she can't take that off? I don't really remember. Doesn't matter. He starts attacking their world at the end of the book, right when she portals back, is with Oro, and he's like, oh my god, you're back, I love you. He literally says, love, you're back. It's like, oh, have some respect for yourself. I forgot to give you some crucial information. Right before they get to this silver pool, Isla is still locked up with Lark, I keep wanting to call her Clark, in the dungeon. And this dungeon, by the way, is made of metal that absorbs power, so that's why Isla can't just get out, because she can't use her powers. She ends up breaking out though by using a rune and putting that on her body, doesn't matter. She convinces Lark that she will kill her and then absorb her power. So she asks her, like, how can I kill you? Tell me, I'll absorb your power. But then for some reason, she will be able to bring people back from the dead. I don't know if this was explained in one of the other books, I don't really know. It seems like she is able to not just bring back ghosts, like make them ghosts, but bring them back for good. Which is like, again, insanely overpowered. But Lark agrees to this. Isla gets to know her weakness. We don't get to know it. She then kills Lark. And after that she says, good riddance, bitch, or something like that. So it doesn't really indicate that she's gonna revive her. It seems like she tricked her. And then when she makes it back to Lightlark after Grimm betrays her, there's a bunch of dead people that she resurrected also arriving at Lightlark. Yeah, she can do that now. And as soon as you have abilities like that in your book, it's over. Like, I can't take anything seriously anymore. So she's gonna kill Grimm or Oro and bring him back from the dead? That's probably what's gonna happen. I didn't even think about that while I was reading or filming this video. It's just a thought that just came into my head. Yeah. Love you! The last line of the book is, this all ended with a blade through the heart. The only question was, whose? I'm your bad Cinderella. That's kind of the vibe that I was giving when that lady was like spray painting. That's what I thought of when she dropped that line. And that is how Crown Tide, the Lightlark Saga, book 4 ends. Whose? So Isla has made her final choice, allegedly, choosing Grimm, who forgot about her. The second they reunite. She doesn't fuck with Oro like that. She never has fucked Oro as far as I'm concerned. But he still wants to kiss her on the lips very bad. This is evidently not the last book. I think that if we had condensed the 3rd and the 4th book, then it could have been the last book. Like, we didn't need 5 books. Inshallah, it's gonna be 5 books and not more than that. But I hope she concludes the series in the next book. But I think it could have already been concluded if everything had been more condensed. Because again, this entire book was just, even though it's only like 400 pages, it's still drawn out very much with repetitiveness, whatever. Like them saying how much they love her over and over again. It was just like to a point where I was like, okay, we get it. Like, it's really, like, I really don't need to read about it again. You know, with a novella also, I get how much they love her. No one's doubting that you love her. No one was saying anything else, and you're acting like this. It's embarrassing. Of course, I love Alex Asta with all of my heart. She's my queen for providing me with so much content. And again, like, this book came out Tuesday. It's Thursday. I'm sitting here. I read the book. Like, I'm her. If anyone is her #1 fan and should be in the fan club, it's me. If anyone should get a Starside arc, which is gonna be her new adult novella, which the sex scenes in this book were quite explicit, I have to say. Can't wait to read it. Send me the arc. Send me the arc and I'll review it. Honestly, Sophie. Let me know if you read these books, if you're only watching reviews to know about it. I can't believe she's still dragging it on. Again, I wish I knew the behind the scenes. I'm really, really curious about it because it's so fascinating to me that this is still ongoing. Also, I did a little bit of a different lightning situation in this video. Let me know if you like it. But I can't wait to see you guys again next year here. I don't really know what else to say about this book. Again, there wasn't much of a plot happening. Could have been condensed into just a trilogy. Don't know why she dragged on the love triangle. She could have just cleaned that up also. Also curious that she hasn't posted anything about it yet. Maybe next week. Maybe she's gonna be on Good Morning America. Who knows? I will of course be reading Starside. Let's see when that book officially comes out. In March, guys. So don't even see you again in a year. See you again in March. I will be here. I'll be here. And you hopefully too. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your opinion if there's anything you noticed. Thank you to all of my members who get my videos usually a day early, you know. Sometimes I can't do it, but sometimes I can't. Most of the time. I try! I love you very much. I hope you stay happy, you stay healthy. Peace and love. And hopefully, I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye!